It's a brand new season and an all-new era for us in F1 25 My Team Career Mode, as we are now partnered up with Porsche for the upcoming new season as the reigning Constructors Champions, with the reigning champ, F3 driver icon, Tim Tramnit, alongside 99 rated Charles Leclerc. If you guys did miss the pre-season episode, then be sure to go check that one out to get the full context and story of how we got to this driver lineup, the failed pursuit of Oscar Piastri, for example, and then the entire context and story behind Porsche joining Formula 1 and being the new power unit supplier for our team in this season, and how we've become now from Aarava Archer Racing to Aarava Porsche Racing in red, white and black now, with a lovely new slick livery. Still got Duotone as the main title sponsor and plenty of the decal editor in-game sponsors used, but also now a bunch of Porsche IRL sponsors and an all-new look for the team for this brand new season, which really does make this feel like a factory fresh season going into this one. And all the different driver transfers, with Max Verstappen leaving Red Bull for McLaren, MasterCard, Formula 1, Ferrari donning their 2022 outfits, Aramco and Honda buying out Aston Martin to be a proper Honda Works team, Williams and Haas retaining some fan favorite retro liveries, with Audi and BMW making some questionable decisions in their driver lineups, and Renault losing Pierre Gasly to an all-new look Red Bull Ford spearheaded by Oscar Piastri, and the Silver Arrows with Carl Lando at the helm looking for a stronger season. All of that and more in the pre-season video if you want the full explanation of every storyline going into this brand new season. But right here, right now, we're making some upgrades to the facilities. We're still trying to spend this money. We just keep earning more than we actually know how to spend it, basically. I think at this point now in the series going forward, unless something dramatically changes, I probably won't be showing you guys as much of this side of the gameplay, because there's nothing really tangible to gain in terms of a huge advantage in terms of how the team operates. And it's the same case maybe for the R&D this season, of course, because things are super close and very exciting. But I think most of these AI teams now around us and ourselves have maxed out our cars, so there really might not be a lot of movement apart from those bottom teams closing up. So I will update you when those happen, but I think going forwards, just assume that it's all the same, because all these teams have nowhere else to go, and we didn't get a regulation change into this season, which I think is going to make the start of this season really, really close and exciting, but then could really mix things up then looking forwards to even season 5 if there is a regulation change, and so many teams have not had to do anything with developing parts for so long. There is one part of the management that is maybe going to make a difference for this team this season, and that's us actually doing further durability upgrades, as we did save up a lot of R&D and we weren't spending a lot of it in the second half of the season. So I thought we may as well go ahead and purchase a load of durability upgrades. We still actually have to do the breakthrough upgrade on phase 4 for durability, because that's the one that didn't get unlocked before the patch came in. So we'll get phase 4 going for durability and try and aid the durability of the engine, the new Porsche engine, as much as we can. Another side of the team that is going to be affected, visually at least, is the sponsorship. With the decal editor, as we earn 2 new secondary sponsors. But speaking of the sponsors and the decal and the livery, so to speak, Porsche has been known for some iconic looks in motorsport, so you guys can look forward to throughout this season. There are going to be at least 3 special liveries inspired by iconic Porsche liveries throughout history. So that's something to keep an eye out, and maybe you guys can let me know what races could be fitting to bring certain liveries to the team. But with that, we're really just ready to jump into the season start. Round 1 at the Australian Grand Prix. It's insane to see this lineup of Leclerc alongside Tramnit, but we are going to actually first and foremost drive as our new reigning champion and see how a 99 rated Leclerc performs as an AI in the car, because This is our first taster of seeing such a high rating in our car. I'm expecting big, big things.
Hello everyone, it is time for qualifying at one of our very favourite stops on the calendar. It's Albert Park and we're about to take the cars right up to the edge.
It's a new era for this team, a new look and a new power unit, and that is going to tangibly make the driving experience very different at the start of this season. Just as it did when we swapped from Honda to Mercedes into Season 2, the drivability changed dramatically, and the Mercedes engine was always quite a smooth engine, and the drivability was very, very good. Much improved from Honda to Mercedes, I felt at the time, into Season 2. Season 3, it changed a little bit, subtly, and was maybe a little bit twitchier at times, but we got a handle over it. But this is going to be a real new kettle of fish, an all-new power unit to Formula 1. It's going to take some time to getting used to, and it's going to be something very different, I think, to the previous seasons we've done. And certainly I can say from my first flying lap here in Q1, very much needing to get used to the different way this engine just, revs up throughout the corners, then revs down through engine braking as well, and just the general drivability mid-apex as well, the way the car just ticks over through the corners. And that, I think, is case in point by the improvement we're making on the second run. So this second lap, we've improved by nearly 1.5 seconds. So that's how difficult and new we found it on that first lap, and we've just made a lot of progress on the second lap. Oh no, we've had a DRS failure at the end of this straight. It's caught us off guard a little bit as we weren't ready for it. Now, technically, maybe DRS being stuck open could aid you a little bit, but we'd already finished our flying lap. The only thing is, we've got to hope that that maybe doesn't occur in later sessions, when we're like midway through a high-speed corner, because if that was to happen, if the DRS just broke open, or stuck open, we were going so much quicker, let's say on the back straight before the high-speed chicane, that would be a massive problem. That could be like qualifying session over ending problem, and if it happened in the race, that could be race ending as well. So maybe an early little foible with the brand new aarava Porsche racing car, but it's a 1-2 in Q1. That's a bit ominous. Leclerc 3.7 tenths quicker than ourselves. So I have a feeling maybe having a 99 rated driver on the other side of the garage, when we're driving as Tramnits, we might find it a real challenge to match Leclerc, that 99 rating. It just sounds crazy, doesn't it? But we are stepping up in Q2, and we are finding a bit more time within ourselves. That's also the other caveat, is I definitely improve when I've got something to chase. And having a yardstick of Leclerc there, I think, is going to try and make me up my game to match him if I can. There will be certain circuits where I have to admit I'm just not as good as others. I think Australia's been a pretty decent one for me on the F1 game, so I'm confident that we can continue this vibe into Q3, but this is really a really good pattern of 2 1-2s in the session. So is it going to be all us in Q3 here as the reigning champions, or are Red Bull, Ferrari, maybe Williams with Tsunoda, or maybe Aramco Honda, I think, with Colapinto through into the top 10, are going to challenge us here? We're about to find out. It's the final top 10 shootout. We've only got one flying lap because we used 2 sets of softs in Q1 because of that initial first slow lap. So that's going to put me under pressure here, and under pressure I will be, as it's a little bit of a tank slapper into the last section, and that mistake is definitely going to cost me a bit of time. We were purple in the first sector, green the second, but it's going to be a really poor last sector that's cost us there big time, and we're down to 8th place. That is disappointing, I gotta say. Leclerc 3rd place, but it's Max Verstappen. He is inevitable, it seems. He's moved to McLaren, and he's on pole position alongside his old teammate, Oscar Piastri. Franco Colapinto, amazing 4th place for the new Aramco Honda team. And, well, we've beaten the Ferraris, I suppose, but we've been beaten by the Williams, the Honda, the Mercedes, our teammate as well. We were, quite a ways off our teammate, a second. So even if we didn't mess up the last sector, maybe we wouldn't have been any further than maybe like P5. So still some raw pace to find in this car, but it's early days. It's the first race of a new season. So also you just know there's going to be a little bit of jeopardy there. Maybe reliability issues for teams, or, you know, inexperienced new drivers in the lower teams causing issues. Who knows? It's the thrill of a season opener. Let's go to the grid.
No more testing, no more practice. This is the real deal. And it's make or break here at round one of this year's Formula One World Championship. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Oscar Piastri lines up on pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Colapinto, Sainz, Pierre Gasly and Tsunoda, Tramnitz, Ocon, Albon and Lando Norris, Verstappen, Aaron, Liam Lawson and Stroll, O'Sullivan, Doohan, Zay Maloney and Nicola Solov, Hadjar, Pepe Marti, Bortoletto and Jack Crawford rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Joining me for this one is Naomi Schiff. This team are making a bit of a splash. They're in talks with half the grid right now. Who do you think they're going to go for?
This is definitely something that's so normal in Formula One. Regardless of whether you actually are planning to change your driver lineup, it's so important to keep conversations going with other drivers. You never know what happens. But at the end of the day, that does cause, a bit of doubt in the current drivers' minds. What are they doing that's not enough, potentially not satisfying the team? Or what can they do better to make sure that they are the one to stay? It's pressure all around, but it's a part of the game.
So it seems life at McLaren was almost going to start amazingly for Max Verstappen, but he has been hit with a grid penalty for 10 places. I cannot believe it. McLaren continue to frustrate champions at their team. It was Leclerc last season, and Verstappen will surely be so pissed off at losing track position, losing pole position, and being down in 11th place, especially with how close things are on the R&D chart. All these teams are so competitive with each other. It's going to be so hard to call it race from race who's going to be vying for the top 5 spots, let alone the podium and the race win. A mistake for us sees us down in 7th place here, but can we try and make amends here in the race today? We're driving as our reigning champion, Tim Tramnitz. The vibes are high. It's a new era for this team in My Team career mode as aarava Porsche Racing. And for all of us, this is the first stab into an unknown of a new season as we go to lights out. And we're underway for season 4 of My Team career mode. It's a good start for us, but we get closed off by Pierre Gasly on the left-hand side. It's a real slow start for our teammate Charles Leclerc. He's down to 4th place from the front row, remember, because he got elevated from Verstappen's penalty. We've dived it down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda in the Williams to get up into 6th place. Leclerc only 2 places ahead now, down in 4th. It's Piastri that leads his home race from Franco Colapinto in the Aramco Honda, the newly formed team out of the ashes of Aston Martin. Sensational first lap for him, as now Gasly is all over the back of Leclerc. The two friends in real life going toe-to-toe here in round 1 of the season. Gasly nearly gets the move. Leclerc good on defense, blocking Gasly, can he, to allow us in, as we're going to try and basically help our new teammate out. I had to lock up there as I nearly actually hit Leclerc. I can't lie, that was a little bit precarious as I was trying to get down the inside of Gasly only, but we overcooked that, so that was a little bit too close for comfort with our new teammate and our new driver. But this was a replay then, just never got going, really bogged down. He's down to 3rd and now he's 4th. by the time they get through turn 1, as Leclerc's old teammate from the Ferrari days, it seems like so long ago now in this series, Carlos Sainz mugs him off, and now Sainz actually goes on to try and get second place with ease on the outside. Real aggressive move from the Silver Arrow, who moves up into second. Colapinto maybe feeling the pressure from being up here. He's not used to being this high in Formula 1, and now all the more experienced drivers are swarming him, and it's a good overtake for Leclerc to get up into third place. But the Honda is looking like a pretty handy car in a straight line. We saw that a few times last season as there's a car off in the distance in the gravel, 3 wide nearly for Colapinto, Leclerc, Gasly. We're involved as well, 4 of us all fighting for the same piece of tarmac nearly as we get a bit of understeer. Dirty air off the back of the Red Bull, had to step out of it, otherwise we'd have lost the back end, and Tsunoda has managed to nip ahead of us, but this is the culprit who is in the gravel then. Lando Norris having his own share of dirty air, and it's just a bit of a howler of a mistake there for the young Brit, and he's down and out in last place now because of that. He's not out of the race, but he's very much out of the contention, I would say. In stone dead last is Colapinto fighting Gasly, and we're just trying to recover the 6th place from the Williams now after that mistake from us, or it wasn't really a mistake, more of a survival tactic of stepping out the rear, as definitely feeling the tyre wear now already on lap 4 as we make a beautiful little move round the outside of Tsunoda. Grazed the wall, but what an overtake. Unorthodox place to make a move, I must say, but we've made it work. We're into 6th place and now to the back of Colapinto, but yeah, I can definitely feel the tyre wear, and I think it's going to take a few races to get used to how this car drives with tyre wear, plus the new engine, because the drivability is very different to the Mercedes, and that's going to be a big cause of issue when the tyres start to wear out, because when they're fresh, you've got all the grip in the world to drive around the new engine drivability, but when the tyres are wearing, you really feel it, and that'll be the case for Max Verstappen getting used to his new McLaren MasterCard Formula 1 car, but he's up into 9th place, but it's been slow work for the 5-time champion, you know. He would have rather have been on pole position, because track position, just like in real life, is king, and the traffic's definitely hurting Verstappen. He's not showing the pace of a man who got it on pole position, as Gasly is really attacking Leclerc. It's clear that in race pace terms, Red Bull Ford look much better this season. They were really questionable last season at times, but they look very strong now in Season 4. We make the overtake on Gasly, thanks to Leclerc. Bit of teamwork, basically, as we actually had a little bit of a love tap with the man from Monaco, but he basically boxed off Gasly to allow us that move. My engineer is very concerned about the tyre wear levels, asking me to come in on lap 7 rather than lap 9. Either way, it is a plan 2 stop for us, as we saw last season. Tyre wear's high ever since that tyre wear reset from Season 2 to 3, and of course no regulation change into this season, so the tyre wear is the same as last season, i.e. it's a bit of an issue, a bit of a struggle, and it's only a handful of teams that can make the one stop work. I feel like Red Bull might be one of them with Piastri, but I'm bailing out. I was going to stick it out till lap 9, but the pace was feeling so questionable and the car was so unstable in some corners that I thought, no, let's just bail out. Let's actually take my engineer's word for it. Let's come in, let's try and get the undercut going. It should be pretty powerful if other teams are facing the same tyre wear that I just faced there. So I think it's for the best, you know. Let's not risk it. Let's not risk a puncher, let's say, like we had a few times last season. So we're coming out in last place, but we're, I think, the first man to pit in this race, maybe barring Lando Norris with that earlier gravel excursion, is Tsunoda overtakes Gasly. So maybe the Red Bull is feeling some tyre wear right at the end of this stint, huh? As the Williams gets up into 3rd. We'll see how that works out through the pit stops. So we're now overtaking an Audi and a BMW. Is this WEC? Because it feels like it. Porsche versus BM versus Audi. Incredible stuff to see those three brands going wheel to wheel in Formula 1. It's just a shame, I've got to admit, that the Audi and BMW teams are very far from being competitive for, you know, points, let alone where we're fighting the top 5. But you know, I still have hope that maybe in a later season one of those AI teams can break breakthrough into a better form, a better bit of R&D, as we're now cutting our way through these slower cars like a hot knife through butter, overtaking Maloney with ease. Oh, the DRS! The DRS is stuck open! Just like in Q1, we take avoiding action. Drama in the season opener.
Your DRS is stuck open. We need you to pit for repairs.
This is an issue. We're going to have to very, very quickly, I'm talking within milliseconds, we're going to have to learn rapidly how to drive with the rear wing open now, because it changes the entire downforce profile on the rear end. The balance of the aero in the middle of the corner, especially high speed. But we're continuing on, despite my engineer telling me to come in to fix the issue. I'm defying team orders, and I'm going to drive around with the DRS stuck open. Hopefully the FIA don't disqualify us, because technically this is incredibly illegal. But we are now driving these next laps with the DRS permanently on. We're getting a permanent speed boost on the straights, and that's negating maybe the time loss in the corners, as we make very quick work of O'Sullivan, of Norris, the Renault Mercedes pair. We just overtook the other pair of Dew and Sainz, and we're up into P11. Remember, Sainz was ahead of us before the first round of pit stop, so we've technically jumped Sainz already. I think we'll probably jump Leclerc and Gasly as well. This problem is turning into an advantage for us at the start of this second stint. You can see, though, the rear end steps out. I'm making it maybe look easier than it actually is. Every single corner, I'm having to kind of operate the car slightly differently, float it in more, and be easy on the rear, because there's just no downforce on that rear wing now, is it? As we go down the inside of Hadjar, up into P10 now, and we're still gaining a boost. Oh, a little bit of a twitch on the rear end. I think the wing, yep, it's fixed now. The DRS has just fixed itself there with a little wiggle when the detection point usually is. So that temporary booster is over. But make no mistake, that is in the IRL rules. I'm pretty sure that is completely illegal to actually carry on like that. But we've made it work. The FIA in-game are saying absolutely nothing right now. And we're now making a move on Ocon, who's struggling on the mediums. Everyone is who's still out there, because the tyre wear is high. But they're all being very stubborn to try and make the one-stop work. But I think that may have just given us a massive advantage to make this two-stop work beautifully, as we're going to overtake Lance Stroll in the McLaren to get up into 8th place now. People are still going on their mediums. This is going to be about 7 laps since I made my pit stop that people are coming in, as we squeeze through on Lawson, who hardly gives us any room to work with in the Honda there, but we make it work. And now on to lap 14. There's Verstappen, Leclerc, and I think Gasly was already behind. So we're up into P4. The car ahead of us is Oscar Piastri. So I think we're in a net second place, but we've still got to make another pit stop. Maybe Piastri and others not making one, as it's a slow Ferrari, and it's a calamity for the Frenchman. Ocon going very, very slow, parking it up on the right-hand side a bit precariously. And oh, that's going to be the red flag because of where Ocon parked it. Now that is going to be a big, big twist. Is this going to help? I think this will help us, you know. Red flag, no, yeah, it will, because it's a free pit stop for us. You know, obviously, I'm so used to recently, we've been screwed over by our red flags. You know, I'm thinking back to Vegas when we just made that pit stop, but I had been on those hards for about 7-8 laps, so this will give us a free pit stop and basically put us on the same strategy and stint as everyone else now, because everyone will go onto fresh hards, and so we're now all going to the end. So this is advantage to us. So we've gained advantage with the DRS being stuck open, and now it's advantage red flag. So this new Porsche era has very much started as a big finesse and a luck in so far. What? We're restarting this race down in 9th place as we go to 5 red lights. What's happened? Have the FIA given us a penalty for the DRS incident, I wonder? We're down 6 positions, was that? Because I think we were 3rd place on the road, and now having to re-overtake the McLaren of Stroll, and also going wheel to wheel with Max Verstappen. Leclerc, P5, side by side with Tsunoda. And so this is turned from a bit of good luck to absolutely awful. I don't know where that's come from. That surely is going to be maybe a penalty for the DRS as we go round the outside of Tsunoda for the second time in the same fashion as, I can't lie, we are, at this point, I'm driving a bit angry because I was ready to, you know, be fighting the Red Bulls for the podium spots, and now we're having to recover and we're pushing our way past Leclerc, who is a little bit slow right now, and I reckon that I've got the grip between my teeth to go attack these two before he will. So I could have stuck behind Leclerc and given him first priority, but I'm driving so angrily that I reckon I'll just get past these guys very quickly. And we do Colapinto, we chop him off at the apex to try and help Leclerc to give him a chance to overtake. And now on the back of Carlos Sainz, it seems like I should try and drive angry most of the time because we're absolutely locked in and going on the outside. There was a little bit of oversteer, but we've managed to wrestle the car through back up into third place. But it's a 1-2 for Red Bull. We need to put a stop to that. I need to try and break this 1-2. I don't know if we can get Piastri. He's been so good this race, but Gasly might be vulnerable. You saw he was vulnerable at the end of the stint when Tsunoda overtook him. And meanwhile, behind Sainz looking pretty vulnerable, so Colapinto's up to P4 now in the Honda as we go for the dive bomb on Gasly, wheel to wheel now with the first of the two Red Bulls. Can we get this move and then move on to Piastri? No, Gasly is being defiant and in turn helping out Piastri, defending him and allowing him to run away in first place. The gap is now from 1.3 to 2.6. That's helped out Piastri massively, obviously after his lead was eroded by the red flag, and it's our old arch nemesis Pierre Gasly now stopping us from breaking this 1-2 and getting up one more position in the podium as Colapinto leads the train of Sainz, Leclerc, Verstappen, the two Williams in the top 10. And after all of that, Lando Norris has recovered to P10. Fair play. He was last place after that gravel trap visit, and the only Ferrari left in the race is in P12. Very much not reimagining the 2022 vibes Ferrari are with that 2022 look and feel as we go and close to Gasly from right to left with DRS aided, but he's going to do well at the mid-apex to try and squeeze us a bit, but we surely get the elbow out here and get up into second place. This time there was no room for Gasly to keep his foot in as there was in the last sector, but now can we try and crucially break DRS and do anything to chase after Piastri? Lap 22, we're focusing though on Verstappen, the man who should have been on pole position, but a very peculiar engine penalty. Round one sees him in this traffic that he's very annoyed at, I'm sure, as that was Colapinto once again overtaking Sainz, but this time Sainz looks a lot slower, and Leclerc's even attacking. Verstappen is as well. Oh, contact between Verstappen and Sainz, and that's damage for the Dutchman. His day goes from bad to worse. Is the McLaren just cursed after the initial really great performance in season one? Ever since, it has seemed like a bit of a poison chalice, the papaya car. Verstappen with damage now, but he stays out to drive through the pain as Gasly repasses us for second place, and Colapinto now has joined the fight for the podium positions as it's a train of Sainz down to the Williams cars. Colapinto trying to join the fight for the top three as Leclerc gets past Verstappen, but to be fair to Verstappen, he's putting up a real good fight to say he's got that complete right-hand side end plate completely off. As very wayward there, nearly puts it in the wall, nearly in the gravel, and Tsunoda, his old teammate from Red Bull IRL, I guess. I don't think these guys were ever teammates in the series, but IRL teammates swapping positions. Tsunoda and the Williams looking the quicker man now, and Leclerc has been looking like the quicker man versus Carlos Sainz, but just hasn't been able to make that overtake yet as Gasly once again looks to try and pass us. We're swapping left, right and centre with the Frenchman. Yellow flags behind. We're a little bit off contact with Gasly. I think that was yellow flag still behind. Car slow. It's Leclerc. No! Leclerc. No! Oh, Leclerc just can't catch a break, man. In real life and the game. Oh, my days. Life at Aarava Porsche Racing starts off with a DNF. Oh, it's a tragedy. Leclerc is out. I cannot believe... I'm so upset. That's so annoying. Oh, that is not the first impression I wanted to give Charles Leclerc. That is really not the first impression I wanted to give. And Lando Norris has got up to P6 now. What a recovery for the Brit in the Mercedes car. Colapinto, P4. Amazing result this will be for him in Honda as a first race. We are going to stay ahead of Gasly, maybe just about, but he has come knocking again. We had a bit of a gap to him, but now the tyre wear setting in for these hards, and he is coming back at us. And meanwhile, it's Oscar Piastri. It's been his day in, well, not the sunshine. It's quite overcast here in Melbourne, but the home hero has been loving life here around Albert Park and is going towards a home race. Meanwhile, we are looking in our mirrors because the tyre wear has been so bad for us at the end of this stint that Gasly is going for one final attack, one final onslaught on the outside. We've got to get the elbow out. Gasly momentarily up to second place. Look at the icon on the bottom right. It's orange, but we're just gonna keep him at bay and see through this second place as Oscar Piastri wins the first race of this season. It is home race win, and we will just about survive Gasly and Colapinto and see home a podium in our first race partnering with Porsche. But this has massively been overshadowed just then by the late retirement of Charles Leclerc. Oh, that's a tough one to take. That's unfortunate, really unfortunate. I'm happy for second, but
What a superb drive from Oscar Piastri, who takes the checkered flag.
Well, they kept us guessing during pre-season testing. We all wondered who it was going to be, and to have them drawn out here today, that they are the ones to beat, just goes to show that all the work they put in has really counted.
Out onto the rostrum, looking down at their team. It is time for the trophies. And it's special for Piastri back on the top step.
a drama-filled season opener, especially for our team. DRS Stuck Open, the red flag penalty or glitch or whatever, and then Leclerc retiring. We had it all. Oh, if that's a taster of what's to come this season, this is going to be one chaotic and messy season then. But I hope not. I hope we can get a bit more smoother running next time out. Driving as Leclerc, Piastri wins, and Red Bull seem to be back to fine form as they were in Season 1. It's been some time since they looked that good in the race. But what will come of Verstappen? I think in the traffic, he was a bit shadowed and hidden, and Honda looked pretty damn good. It was, either way, a really exciting first race of Season 4. Guys, if you have enjoyed it, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.